Agriculture, Honorable Myron V. Walwin. Minister of Health and Social Development, Honorable Ronnie Skelton. Representative for the 2nd District, Honorable Melvin Mitch Turnbull. Representative for the 8th District, Honorable Marlon Penn. Territorial Representative and Junior Minister for Tourism, Honorable Archibald Christian and Mrs. Christian. Permanent Secretaries, other senior public officers, Chairman of the Board of Governors of the H. Lavity Stout Community College, Dr. Charles Wheatley, OBE, and Mrs. Wheatley. Other members of the Board of Governors of the H. Lavity Stout Community College, Vice President of the Institutional Advancement at the University of the Virgin Islands, Mr. Mitchell Neves, Manager of British Overseas Territory Sites for the University of the West Indies, Dr. Phyllis Fleming Banks, President, members of the faculty and staff of the H. Lavity Stout Community College, other members of the platform, graduating class of 2017, parents, family members, and other guests of our graduates, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It is my pleasure, in the name of the Board of Governors, officers, and faculty of the H. Lavity Stout Community College, to call the 2017 graduation ceremony to order. Pastor Dr. Joycelyn Hoy will deliver this afternoon's invocation. The invocation will be followed by the singing of the national anthem and the territorial song, which will be rendered by one of our graduating students and a member of the HLSCC Stingrays, Mr. Kitwan Malone. Please remain standing for all three of these items.
Good afternoon, everyone. Let us pray. Our God and Father Jehovah, the only Almighty God, we are very thankful today because every good and perfect gift comes from you. We are thankful for the gift of life that we are privileged today to be able to witness another graduation ceremony at the HLSCC. We thank you, God, for those who have come, for our graduates, for bringing them to this level of academic success. We pray, Father God, that you will release over this audience today a spirit of joy, thanksgiving, gratitude, so that indeed this ceremony will be one, Father, of a true celebration. We acknowledge your presence, and we pray that, Father, everything that will be done here today will be done in order and excellence for the glory and the honor of your holy name. We pray this in the name of Jesus with thanksgiving. Amen.
God save a great pain our ancestors bled and died. But with strength and with power we overcame to restore Virgin Islands' pride. To preserve the beauty we devised a plan to obtain ownership of your precious land. Educating your people is the golden key to maintain our success of this territory. Oh, how radiant are your daughters, and how wealthy are your sons. Your beaches boast your beauty, and your success is second to none. Green and brilliant are your hillsides, they replenish our hopes and pride. Oh, beautiful Virgin Islands, your quality can never be denied. May God richly bless this territory. May we ask three things of thee: courage for all great leaders, that they may rule our destiny. We ask for wisdom for our people, that they may live in harmony. And understanding for our children, that they may cherish his legacy. Oh, how radiant are your daughters, and how wealthy are your sons. Your beaches boast your beauty, and your success is second to none. Green and brilliant are your hillsides, they replenish our hopes and pride. Oh, beautiful Virgin Islands, your qualities can never be denied. Oh, beautiful Virgin Islands, your qualities can never be denied. Thank you.
Please be seated.
Good afternoon. It is my pleasure, in the name of the Board of Governors, office and faculty of the H. Levity Stout Community College, to call the 2017 graduation ceremony to order. My name is Janet Smith, and I'm president of the college. I would like you to recognize collectively those members of the College Board of Governors who are with us today. Board members, would you please stand? I would like now to take a moment to introduce those persons who are sharing the platform this afternoon. May I ask each individual to stand as I call your name? Dr. the Honorable Orlando Smith, our Premier. Honorable Myron V. Waldwin, Minister of Education and Culture. As many of you know, this is the minister for the college. Dr. Michael Turnbull. Dr. Michael Turnbull will be our keynote speaker this afternoon. We'll do our best. We will do our best to make him blush when we introduce him a little bit later. Dr. Charles Wheatley, OBE, Chairman of the HLSCC Board of Governors, who is the former president of the college and is honored as the only president emeritus of the institution. Dr. L. Souder Smith has graciously served as our acting vice president during this year. Dr. Laverne Baptiste is our registrar, and she's also the director of enrollment management. Directly behind Dr. Baptiste is Dr. Marva Wheatley Dawson. She's the acting dean of arts, sciences, and general studies. Mrs. Bernardine Louis is sitting next to Mrs. Wheatley. She's the dean of our workforce training program, including the broad range of short courses that are delivered at the institution. Mr. Nieves, you've already introduced. Mr. Mitchell Nieves is the Vice President for Institutional Advancement at the University of the Virgin Islands. Mr. Nieves is with us because we have partnerships with several institutions. Most of them are in the interest of helping students transfer successfully. The University of the Virgin Islands, of course, is one such institution. Another institution is the University of the Virgin Islands, and Dr. Phyllis Banks is representing the University of the Virgin Islands. She's actually responsible for all the centers in the overseas territories, including our own. Next to her is our student who've been selected to represent the class of 2017 this afternoon, Ms. Zara Corian Durant. She was also the 2016-2017 president of the Association of Student Government. Last but not least, you've heard from Dr. Hoyt already, who is the pastor at Assembly of God Church here in Roetown. And I believe Mr. Collin, I'm missing, Mr. Collin Mr. Collin is a member of our staff, actually. He's actually in charge of technology at the Virgin Gorda Center. He's also a pastor at the Church of Hope in Virgin Gorda. Colin, in fact, will render the benediction at the end of the service. You've seen our marshals, Dr. Natalia Whitley and Dr. Sarita Pemberton, and they've been trying to keep us, both lead a procession and try to give us some sense of order. It is not accidental that these two persons have been selected as marshals this year, because they represent the faculty and have won recognition for being the outstanding faculty of the month. It'll be from this group that they may well be selected as faculty of the year later on in this ceremony. In addition to the platform guests, we certainly welcome each and every one of you today who are joining us to celebrate with your loved ones who have completed all the requirements for their degrees and certificates. They will, in a short while, receive our official acknowledgement of their attainment. In the program, you may have noticed that I'm scheduled to give an address. I promised the graduating class last week at the reception that I would at least keep it short. I know that they have not come here to hear a series of speeches, long or short. This is typically an occasion when the president would give a report on the activities, the accomplishments of the past year. I've chosen instead to write my comments and my review of the past year as part of the program. You'd find it on the first two or three pages of the program. Some of you will keep this, some of you won't, but I think looking back, it'll give you a much more comprehensive view of what happened the year that you left here. I've actually also given up that address, or at least put it in the program, because frankly, I'd like to spend some time doing some things that I think are much more rewarding. I'm actually feeling quite privileged to offer a number of awards at this time. Let me start with the full and part-time students of the graduating class who have achieved the highest cumulative grade point average during their stay at the college. Starting with the full-time students, we're fortunate to have two of them. When I call your names, you're in the graduating class, I would ask you to come up to receive your award. Julissa Sedano. Julissa Sedano has a 4-point average. She's receiving an associate degree in general studies, general science. She expects to start work toward her bachelor's degree in human biology at the University of Birmingham in Alabama this fall. And she plans to attend medical school after that time with the ultimate goal of becoming a pediatrician. Julissa is a member. Julissa is a member of Phi Theta Kappa. Julissa will receive from us $500 on behalf of the college. She didn't walk away with anything, but you can tell $500 in the bank is better than nothing, right? Zora Williams. Zora is also graduating with a 4.0 cumulative grade point average. She will attend Andrews University, and she will study, she will enter a pre-med program. Andrews University, as you know, is in Michigan. We wish her well.
Thank you.
Zora will also receive that $500. Congratulations. Yeah. The next person I'd like to recognize is a part-time student with the highest cumulative grade point average. Her name is Miss Wesleyan Alana Walters. Hi, oh, I know who you are. Mrs. Walters is a native of Guyana. She has been in the Virgin Islands for 13 years. She has no family here in the BVI, but I understand she has quite a following. She's a Toastmaster, and I understand that some of her Toastmaster sisters are here to celebrate with her this afternoon. As you can see, she is a mature student. Our students who came earlier were a little bit younger, and that is typical of a community college. She entered the college in 2010, and throughout her studies, she's been working as a service maid at the hotels in the area. She enjoyed school when she was much younger, and as she got older, that passion did not leave her. She decided to enter the college because she saw it as making a better way of life for herself. Mrs. Walters is graduating, having worked every day just about, and nonetheless having accumulated a grade point average of 3.9. I'm going to ask her to stay for a bit because there's more to come. HLSCC is also fortunate to have a corporate partners who, year after year, have committed themselves to honoring our deserving students. There's one such award this year from Ernst & Young for the accounting student with the highest grade point average. Mr. Christopher Hill is representing Ernst & Young this afternoon, and he will present the award to Mrs. Walters. I'll tell you a quote that we got from Ernst & Young earlier today. It says, "Our firm is passionate about helping young people achieve their full potential. It is one of our core values at Ernst & Young. Our motto is building a better working world. We believe that is the hallmark of excellence and success. Many years ago, we established the Ernst & Young Achievement Award for Academic Excellence to recognize and reward the highest achievers in the Cayman Islands schools and colleges. And we have established the same here in the BVI by presenting a check of $1,000 and a plaque for academic excellence. This is an ongoing award, and it will be presented each and every year as long as Ernst & Young has operations in the BVI. If any of you would like to make the award public and known, you can do so that students may have an incentive toward getting such a nomination. The next award that I want to give is the Phi Theta Kappa Award. We have 4 PTK, we call it, advisors. Our Vice President, Dr. Sauda Smith, Dr. Richard Georges, and Deborah Hodge. Dr. Georges, would you please join me in announcing and making this award?
Good afternoon. I am delighted to announce that Andre Kartik is this year's winner of HLSCC's Phi Theta Kappa Award. Andre is graduating today with a 3.81 GPA and 3 associate degrees. An associate in general science, an associate in natural science, and an associate in general studies with the Constitution and chemistry. Andre is scheduled to begin his Bachelor of Science in Biology at Florida State this fall with the intention of pursuing a career in forensics and DNA analysis. But Andre's work with Phi Theta Kappa over the last 2 years is particularly exemplary. Since becoming a member, he has played a significant leadership role within the chapter. He has been responsible for helping us to organize our 2 award-winning Honors in Action projects over the last 2 years. He's been extremely involved in all the chapter's fundraising initiatives, and this year he was also playing an integral role, along with other members, in the college's Leadership Bridge project for the 12th grade students at Elmhurst High School. So I think I would like to, with no further ado, congratulations.
Okay, another award, we have lots of awards, is a Jensibar Scholarship. Jensibar is one of our vendors for our student information system. The Jensibar internship program is one of the first of its kind in higher education. Jensibar gives this award to a student who is enrolled in one of its client and institutions. Its purpose is to help students gain experience working in higher education while also earning a competitive salary during that internship. This year, the program attracted 277 applications from around the world, and 47 students were selected to participate based on their positive attitudes, their diligence, their enthusiasm for learning, and their communication skills. In awarding the scholarship, Zanzibar's chairman and CEO put it this way: the Zanzibar internship allows us to put our money where our mouth is by equipping students with the skills and professional experience they need in order to thrive in today's competitive workforce. Help me extend our heartfelt congratulations to Keno George, we have a gift for Keno. In it is a letter to him from Zanzibar. We actually look forward to having Zanzibar work with us this summer in trying to address some of the problems in our student information system. Congratulations. One last award. The other recognition that I would like to make is to recognize one of our own employees. Faculty is the heart of any educational institution. They have been the bedrock for the success of all 190 graduates that we see today. They're the instructional foundation for the success of not only our graduates, but all our students, as well as all our alumni who pass through these doors. Collectively, we have 40 full-time faculty to thank for moving our students to days such as this. We are negligent if we do not take the time to recognize our faculty in special ways. This year, we added a new recognition. In 2012, when the college reviewed its mission after 20 or so years and decided to agree on a set of core values, that was very important to us. We had the input not only of our own staff, but also of the community. The 8 values were agreed on as values that our employees should all strive to attain in working with our students and each other. This year, we decided to try to walk that talk as well. Each month, We asked employees to nominate colleagues in various categories who demonstrate those identified values. We asked and then recognized those employees for outstanding performance in those 8 areas. By design, the peer evaluation and selection process included the faculty. Through this process, 4 faculty were identified by both of the faculty and by students. We use the same criteria to nominate a faculty for the year. It is only fitting that I ask our Chairman of the Board of Governors, Dr. Charles Wheatley, OBE, to join me in announcing and granting the 2016-2017 Faculty of the Year. Dr. Wheatley is himself an exemplary educator in the territory, if not the most exemplary. He has demonstrated both commitment and high standards and expects the highest quality of performance of our students and of ourselves. When I announced the Faculty of the Year, I asked that that member of our faculty also join us on the platform. Our Faculty of the Year is Mrs. Stephanie Russ Penn. Mrs. Stephanie Russ Penn is a senior lecturer in our mathematics and science department. She holds a Bachelor of Science degree in health sciences and a master's degree in physiological sciences, both from the University of Arizona. She has also earned a postgraduate certificate in teaching and learning through a partnership with the University of the West Indies. The goal of that program was to improve the skills of all our faculty. Mrs. Russ Penn has spent about 17 years at the college in the science department and in more recent years as a senior lecturer in the mathematics department. In addition to her stellar contribution as a senior lecturer, Mrs. Russ Penn supports the work of HLSCC in many ways. She's an advisor to the HLSCC Phi Theta Kappa chapter, that is the Beta Omicron Sigma chapter here at the college. She's the race director for the college's Classic 2-mile series. She co-chairs the Curriculum Review Committee. She's a member of the Faculty Ranking Committee. She's a member of Health and Wellness Committee and the Graduating Committee. Mrs. Russ Penn's service is not limited to HLSCC. She's an active community member and volunteer, especially in the field of athletics. She serves as the director of the Community 5K series, and for 9 years served as co-director and instructor of the summer sports program under the BVI Sports Division Summer Sports Program. She is currently the General Secretary of the BVI Athletic Association and is also a member of the BVI Road Racing Committee. She serves as head judge for annual UNESCO Science Fair, Secretary of the Church of God of Holiness Youth District Council, and President of the Church of God of Holiness Youth Body. Mrs. Russ Penn is also a member of the Physical Activity Committee of the BVI Health and Wellness Council. HLSCC is certainly proud to name Mrs. Stephanie Russ Penn as one of ours. She embodies the core values that are promoted by the institution, and we are happy to honor her today.
Stephanie, it is my pleasure indeed to give you this award. I know of your travels and your dedication to this institution, and I'm indeed happy to do so.
Okay, I have an opportunity to say something, but I'll be brief. Certainly, I want to say thank you. And as being the first person to receive this award at the institution, I want to dedicate it back to all my fellow faculty members and to all the wonderful students that I've had the opportunity to teach and be an inspiration in some way. And I want to extend a special thank you to this institution for allowing me to be here to work, and HLSCC all the way.
I will now ask 3 people with the awesome responsibility of ensuring that HLSCC serves the purpose for which it was intended, that we make the best use of our financial, capital, and human resources that are available to make tertiary education happen in the BVI. They also are responsible for making certain that we have the necessary structures, policy framework, and other infrastructure to make sure that students succeed. We thought it fitting that these persons share a few words, especially to our graduate. Our Premier, Dr. the Honorable D. Orlando Smith, will now bring greetings to the class. He will be followed immediately by our Minister for Education and Culture, Honorable Myron V. Walwin, and then by the Chairman of the HLSCC Board of Governors and our President Emeritus, Dr. Charles H. Weechley, OBE.
Thank you, Madam President. The Speaker of the House of Assembly, Mrs. Ingrid Moses, the Honorable Ronnie W. Skelton, Minister of Health, the Honorable Mark Vanderpool, Minister of Communication Work, and Mrs. Vanderpool, the Honorable Junior Minister, Mr. Marlon Penn, Junior Minister of Trade, and the Junior Minister of Tourism, Honorable Archibald Christian, and Mrs. Christian, Honorable Mitch Turnbull, member of the 2nd District, and the Honorable Leader of the Opposition, Honorable Andrew Foy. Members of the Board of Governors, members of the faculty of the HLSCC Community College, keynote speaker, Dr. Michael Turnbull, graduates, good afternoon. I like all persons mentioned, and also the congregation, everybody else here. I want you to join me in congratulating our 2017 HLSCC graduates on achieving another milestone in their lives. Please join me. Graduation marks a new chapter, a transition to another stage, a positive change. Today marks a new beginning for all of you. Graduates, you have now joined the ranks of the territory's tertiary educated populace. Today's achievement is not only about you, it's also about the British Virgin Islands, this place you call home. We are training more and more persons to not only achieve their personal goals, but also to further the development of this territory. I can imagine that before enrolling in the HLSCC, you had a dream. Some of you may have had dreams of working in top-notch positions in government or in the private sector. Others may have had dreams of setting up your own businesses. Some of you might have already accomplished these things and had a dream to obtain a college degree. Whatever your dreams are, I'm telling you today, continue to dream and continue to work hard towards the fulfillment of that dream. And here's the reason why. It was just a few decades ago that the founder of this institution, the late Honorable Hamilton Lafferty Stout, envisioned the Virgin Islands having its own college. And here we stand today on the physical grounds of what was once that dream. To think that today's achievement, your achievement, all began decades ago with one dream. I encourage you to think about it. I encourage you to think about HL Stout on your day today so that you may remember the dream and to dream big. And again, another dream. Just last night, I joined many relatives and friends and well-wishers to welcome a culinary team home from the annual Taste of the Caribbean competition. Mr. Kenneth Molyneux was a part of that team. As a young man, he dreamed of being a great chef. And at this event, he was named Chef of the Year among all representatives from the entire Caribbean. He actually won 4 gold medals. And I must say that I feel a little bit proud of him because he's been my chef for about a decade now. 2 weeks ago, we also celebrated another BV Islander who also had a dream, Mr. Kyron McMaster. Who became the fastest man in the world in the 400 meters hurdle. The key is to always think ahead, be forward looking, always set your eyes on the future. Graduates, you have put in the work, but know that the work has only just begun. It is what happens after graduation that determines what benefits you will reap. Today sets the stage for the rest of your lives. Many of you are in pursuit of higher education and will immediately move on to another tertiary institution to further your education. Some of you will remain here in the territory to work for the public service or the private sector. You have demonstrated that you have ambition and you're in fact achievers, ready for the workforce. Some of you are already part of the territory's workforce. Be sure to take what you have learned to your workplace, and not to simply change things, but to make changes to improve the performance of your organization. And then we come to the remaining few. You are the existing and future entrepreneurs, taking what you have learned in the classrooms and elsewhere to provide much needed products and services for the people of this territory. I encourage you to keep in mind the pillars of this economy: financial services and tourism. Seek ways to bolster both industries and look into setting up businesses or ancillary services to support these pillars. Think about how you can help to grow the Virgin Islands. Think about how you can make your mark while adding value to the BVI identity. My government has an increased focus on entrepreneurship. And with the introduction of a youth entrepreneurship policy, we are further nurturing this plan, which will lead to the sustainable development of these islands. Again, referring to HL Stout, when he envisioned a tertiary institution for the Bishop Virgin Islands, he went about it with tenacity and he moved with a purpose. I encourage each of you, graduates, to remember the founder, formulate a vision of your own, and pursue it with even more vigor and tenacity. More importantly, envision a prosperous Virgin Islands and do your part in ensuring that that vision is realized. We are facing a more complex world with more challenges, and now more than ever your country needs people who can stand up to those challenges. What I'm saying is that your country needs you. Before I go, I'd like also to offer a bit of advice. It is very often that we forget to give recognition. We forget the power behind gratitude and the act of saying thank you. I'd like to encourage you, graduates, to say thank you to your parents, your guardians, your teachers, advisors, pastors, and loved ones, and other supporters, all those who help you to achieve your goal in one way or the other. And in the same spirit of gratitude, I say thank you to the faculty and staff of the HLSCC Community College, led by Dr. Janet Smith. You are developing great minds and equally great citizens, as demonstrated by today's graduating class. Today's class of 2017 means 190 more persons who are qualified and able to take this territory to another level, to assist the government in improving the quality of life for everyone in the Virgin Islands. Let us all work together to achieve this. Congratulations once again on reaching the milestone of your life, and remember to dream big. Thank you.
I accept the recognition as articulated by the chairperson of today's proceedings, and it should be sufficient for me to say good afternoon to all. Graduates, please permit me to first offer my hearty congratulations to you for your perseverance and your commitment to your studies and to the improvement of yourselves. I know there must have been many struggles, and some of you probably felt like giving up on different occasions. But you made it through, and for that, I ask you to give yourselves a round of applause. Family, friends, well-wishers of our graduates, very often, the negativity surrounding a few young people is falsely characterized as the behavior of all our young people. I want to put it to you this afternoon that this small bit of antisocial behavior is not a true and accurate representation of the young people of the territory of the Virgin Islands. Today is evidence of that, as we have 190 young people, and some young at heart, who are proving these negative theories wrong. I want to ask you to give these young people who have taken this very bold and important step to improve their lives a round of applause as well. As was done before, I wish to recognize the students, those 2 full-time and 1 part-time, who received the highest GPA, being Zora Williams, Jolisa Sedano, and Wesleyan Walters. I commend all of you for your very excellent work. I must also say thanks to the Board of Governors, headed by Dr. Charles Whitley and the other members, along with the President Smith and the faculty and staff of this institution for their very hard work over the past year. The rewards of your labor are before you, and on behalf of the government of the Virgin Islands, please accept our gratitude. As it appears that I'm in the mood for thank yous today, I must also thank all of you here at this institution for your patience over the past year as you were host to the grade 12 students as we worked to get their secondary campuses in order for the new academic year. I thank you very much. As the world, and indeed the Virgin Islands, continues to rapidly change, there's a greater demand for educated professionals in the workforce. By completing this portion of your tertiary level education, you are putting yourselves in a much better position to make a contribution to the development of the Virgin Islands. This was the vision of the founder of this institution and our first Chief Minister, Honorable Hamilton Laverty Stout, as he understood the importance of having an elected and educated people and the importance of such an institution to the development of the national agenda. Graduates, as you prepare to leave the walls of this institution, I want to leave with you 3 pieces of advice. The advice that I will give you is very light in nature, but very important. You would have received advice from speakers before, and you will get more solid advice, I believe, from other speakers after me. The first one I want to leave with you is to watch your brand. By this, I mean be careful what labels you allow to attach to you. Consider for a moment what thoughts come to your mind when you hear these names. When you hear Liat, when you hear United Airlines, or when you hear Donald Trump. Also consider the thoughts that come to your mind when you hear Louis Vuitton, Apple, or Mercedes-Benz. This is the same way that people will think about you when they hear your name called. Guard your professional reputation jealously, because as you know, once you are labeled in these Virgin Islands, you are properly labeled. The second piece of advice that I want to give to you is to run your own race. Many of us are so busy comparing ourselves to other people and looking at what they may have or what they were able to achieve. But a lot of times we don't know how they were able to get what they have. For all you know, some of them can't sleep when night comes. Additionally, the Lord has blessed each of us with different talents and skills. And you should seek to find what those talents and skills are and do your best to develop what God has blessed you with, rather than trying to compare and compete with other people. It takes a lot of time and a lot of energy to be competing with other people, and you will certainly lose sight of the goals that you have set for yourselves. The third piece of advice that I want to give you this afternoon is to surround yourself with people who are going somewhere. As Proverbs chapter 27 verse 70 says, "An iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another." While this is so, it is important to also remember that not every skin teeth is a laugh. And you will find people who you think are in your corner, but are actually not. You will find people who wish you well until you start to do well. And you will also find those who will lift you up and who will celebrate your successes. Whatever experience you have, make sure that you learn from it. Now, graduates, I want to put a question to you this afternoon. And it's not a trick question at all. It is perhaps a question that you had never taken the time to think about. I would imagine that all of you went to preschool. I would imagine that all of you went to primary school. I would imagine that all of you attended secondary school. And now you are about to graduate from this tertiary institution. And many of you here will be moving to institutions of higher learning. Here is my question to you this afternoon. What is the purpose of all this education that you have acquired? What is it for? What are you expected to do with it? Renowned speaker and International Advisor on Education, Sir Ken Robinson, outlined 4 main purposes of education. The first being economic, that we expect education to facilitate growth and stimulate our economy. The second being cultural, that we should have a very broad-based curriculum that is able to meet our cultural goals for education, those being tolerance, understanding, and a sense of identity. The third one is social. Robinson said that you don't restore confidence in political processes simply by talking about them. You have to mirror democratic values with education. The fourth is personal. According to Robinson, this is the linchpin on which the economic, cultural, and social purposes of education rely. In other words, the purpose of education is to enable persons to contribute to the socio-economic development of their respective countries, while at the same time developing their natural aptitudes to improve their individual standings. Regardless of the views we may have on successive governments of the Virgin Islands, one thing is certain, that all governments understand the importance of a very well-educated population, as can be evidenced by our very vibrant scholarship program that has been in effect for about 4 decades. And I dare say that there are very few countries, if any at all, on our side of the world that invest as much as we do in the education of our people. We must put this education to work for us and to guide us through whatever difficult periods we may be facing as a country and as a people. There are many issues, graduates, that we must address in these Virgin Islands. From issues with our financial services and our tourism industry, to the need for new industries to be developed, to the issue of greater constitutional autonomy. These are issues that we must talk about. These are issues that you graduates must lend your education and your voices to. It seems as though when the topic of self-determination comes up, we find ourselves in a state of paralysis, and we allow fear and cynicism to obscure our very good reasoning. We start to say, we cannot. We can't do this. We can't do that. We don't have this. We don't have that. I say that we must dispense with those thoughts, because we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. And I will tell you further, that nobody, anywhere, could take better care of these Virgin Islands than the people who belong to these Virgin Islands. We are here right now celebrating your graduation. And we'll be cheering you on when you graduate from higher institutions or take greater levels of responsibility in your place of work. Are we to say that after 4 decades of providing access to tertiary education for our people, that we are not sufficiently competent to handle our own affairs? Is this what we are saying? Given the average age of this graduating class this afternoon, this is a matter that your generation will have to face, and you should be prepared for it. Today is election day in the United Kingdom. And the people of the United Kingdom will be voting for a new government that will make policies and possibly laws that will affect our lives here in the Virgin Islands. And we had absolutely no say in it. I asked you the question again this afternoon, what is the purpose of your education? Whatever your response is to my question, I would like to once again congratulate you on reaching this milestone in your life, and I implore you to use this education for the upliftment of our country and for the people who call these islands home. Thank you very much.
Allow me to accept the protocol as was established by the chairperson and to say good afternoon to all of you and welcome to this ceremony. I know you have had a few strong admonitions already, but it's not yet finished. So I would like to, before I begin to say the few words I want to say, ask you to allow you to think on two past chairmen of the Board of Governors who are not very well. Honorable R.T. O'Neill and Mr. Ilyu Reimer. And I would like you just to remember them. You know, we have a record in the BVI that we do not like to think about the past. We just think about the future. But I would like you to remember that you stand on the shoulders of giants and others who have gone before you. I see in the audience, immediate past President Dr. Cal Dawson. Would like to acknowledge you also. Thanks to the government, the administrators of the college, the faculty, the staff, and all the supporters. Thanks to you, the students, and everyone who has made the past year the success it has been, so that we can be here this afternoon to celebrate with this class of 2017. This is my 23rd graduation address for this institution, and it is the first under the leadership of Dr. Janet Smith. Today is also the 24th anniversary of the award of the first associate degree in 1994. Now, since that date, I understand the board has awarded about 2,571 associate degrees and certificates in various fields of studies, including yours today. So the journey from that first graduating class to today's graduating class has been exciting, demanding, and invigorating. Today, therefore, is a landmark on that journey, and I take great pride in welcoming all of you on behalf of the Board of Governors as we celebrate the achievements of the class of 2017. Now, as we celebrate with you today, we should also be mindful of the global environment in which tertiary education is struggling and adapting in order to survive. Around the world, the main challenges facing tertiary education as follows, and I give you three: declining enrollment in traditional fields of studies delivered in traditional ways. Colleges and universities are forced to find innovative methods of recruitment of students and delivery of instruction. Second, the second challenge is shrinking financial resources. And we at HLSCC are also experiencing this. But we have to find ways to engage the entire community in supporting this college. We need a community approach to meet community demands. And this brings me to the third challenge. The community demands for more appropriate and better student outcomes. The community is always requesting better students, better graduates. You can see then from these challenges that we are celebrating in a period of uncertainty and anxiety. And the global situation further increases uncertainty and anxiety. And as the Minister of Education mentioned, the influence of Brexit and the fallout from the American president's tweets, the violent manifestations of hatred in the hearts of humankind at home and globally are elements of the threats to our survival. We depend on the quality of services we can offer to the global community. If we truly want to have a successful service economy, then we need to continue with greater urgency and greater support to raise the proficiency bar on the levels of services we provide. Financial services and tourism, of which we both require people who see service as career opportunities and not as engagement in servitude. We therefore engage in these uncertainties with the hope that we can ride out the squalls of life as we prepare for the pending storms ahead. At HLSCC, we have been actively involved in this preparation by making sure that we educate and train our students to face the challenges of today and tomorrow. These challenges will need more than the traditional approaches which we learn from the sources of our research. We will need adaptive strategies which require us to be innovative, willing to take risks, and be open to continuous learning. These are some of the skill sets I hope this graduating class will take away as they continue on their journey of life. If I may reflect a little on the past, these were the qualities that our founder, the late Honorable Larry Stout, wanted to inculcate in the lives of British Virgin Islanders when he took on the daunting task of starting a community college in this territory. His determination comes out forcefully in his passionate budget address in 1990, and I give you a short quote from that, and I quote, "What the BVI will be in the 21st century will be to a large extent dependent not only on the plans we make today, but equally, if not more so, on how well we prepare our young people to participate in the advancement and execution of our plans. We believe that we must energize the creativity of our people to take on new challenges. It is for this reason that we have embarked on the BVI Community College to better afford our people the opportunity to enhance their skills and thereby participate in more meaningfully in their country's prosperity," end of quote. He believed that better educated citizens would increase economic growth as well as promote a greater understanding of civic and social responsibility in the community. This was the same vision he had in 1968 when he fought for comprehensive secondary education by establishing the BVI High School. And by doing so, he extended the horizons of secondary education quantitatively and qualitatively. He believed in greater educational opportunities for BV Islanders, regardless of their backgrounds, their circumstances, or place. His vision during the uncertainties and challenges 27 years ago could serve as a motivation for us today in today's uncertainties and anxieties. Because of his vision, you sit anxiously in cap and gown, wondering why I do not shut up and sit down. But let me console you with a little bit of serenity. I'm going to read for you a short prayer of serenity prayer, which you all know. Think about it seriously. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. Courage to change the things I can. And wisdom to know the difference. So, I hope you are serene. And in that serenity, I am saying to you that you are very important today. I would like you to reflect on that importance of your achievements beyond the boundaries of mathematics, science, or economics. Your value goes far beyond acquiring physical things and material things. That value is rooted in love, faith, hope, and generosity. You are little lights with the ability to brighten the road so that others may discover the lights in their lives. Therefore, your success today carries with it some responsibilities, and I wish to leave with you just a few of these. 1, you are part of the struggle to create a community where people respect one another as God's children and not as commodities or things. 2, you are part of the struggle to stop the trading and use of illegal drugs. 3, you are part of the struggle to wipe out the use of guns and other destructive weapons and to save life. 4, you are part of the struggle to stand up for equity in public and private affairs. 5, you are part of the struggle to increase opportunities for those behind you. 6, you are part of the struggle to improve the quality of life for all who reside in this territory and beyond. As I mentioned earlier, the quality of that life has its roots in love, faith, hope, and generosity. So in closing, I wish you continued success in your future. And I leave you with these words of the wartime British Prime Minister Winston Churchill, and I quote, "Never give in. Never, 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 never. In nothing great and small, large or pretty. Never give in except to convictions of honor and good sense." I thank you.
Dr. Wheatley's words were certainly very sobering. So was the Honorable D. Orlando Smith and our Commander-in-Chief, Mr. Myron V. Walwyn. In the context of that, it reminded me of something. We're celebrating today, and we're missing someone who most likely, while not graduating, would have been here. His name was Justice Armory. I'd like you to take a few minutes for silence in memory of Justice. Continue to pray for his family. Keep them in your thoughts, that they can hold on to those many, many memories that Justice left us. And those of you who are graduating and were friends of Justice, we all acknowledged several weeks ago it was hard for all of us. It was harder for you, and we acknowledge that. So would you please, just a quiet moment of silence before we introduce the guest speaker. I thank you.
I acknowledge the protocol established this afternoon. Dr. Michael A. Turnbull is a licensed clinical psychologist and ordained minister who is passionate about making the lives of those he serves better. In every role, he has demonstrated a commitment to achieving positive organizational gains by igniting and motivating teams to achieve excellence. His leadership ability has sustained organizational change and growth in the corporate and nonprofit organizations that he has led. His core belief is that successful organizations are built on cultures that synergize efficient human resources and utilize relevant information to drive systems toward organizational excellence. Dr. Turnbull's tertiary education started with a strong foundation at HLSCC. When he graduated in 2000 with a transfer degree in general science, he used this foundation as a launching pad to earn a Bachelor of Arts degree in psychology, graduating summa cum laude from Howard University. He subsequently earned a Master of Divinity degree, also with honors, a Master of Science, and a doctorate degree in psychology from the American School of Professional Psychology and Grossi University in Virginia. Dr. Mike, as he is affectionately called, is a board-certified psychologist in the United States as well as the British Virgin Islands. He is currently the director of the Wellness Center Behavioral Health Clinic. He is the husband of Chandra Turnbull and a father of 3 children, a passionate son of the soil and proud alumnus of the H. Lavity Stout Community College. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Dr. Michael Turnbull.
Accepting the recognition by our chairperson, and also taking the liberty to recognize my immediate family, my parents, Reverend Dr. Melvin A. Turnbull and Marion Turnbull, my brother, Honorable Melvin A. Turnbull, my wife, Chandra, and my daughter, who is here. I also was paid $200 by my cousin, Kenneth Stout, to recognize him. Please make that check payable to me. Amen. All right. Thank you. Now, as I am sharing here, I also want to give special thanks to the Board of Governors and the chairperson, Dr. Wheatley. Thank you. And our president of our lovely university here, our college, Dr. Smith. I am so gracious to be here. It's one thing to be invited by letter, but it's even more special when the president herself gives you a call. And I'm so gracious to be here. Now, I can only be myself, and I think they have asked me to be myself. So when I am here, I'm very, very proud that the Faculty of the Year was also my professor here at HLSCC. With great honor, I just want to share with you guys for a couple minutes, because I'm sure you all are ready to go. But I want you to listen just for a few moments, and those of the people gathered here. I want you to start with the end in mind. Start with the end in mind. Every big decision, everything that has been done up until today, you have to start with the end in mind. As we go forward now, how do we make sure that our end is greater than our start? We have to ensure that we do a number of things. Now, I am a psychologist, but I'm also a minister. So unless you want me to be up here till thy kingdom come, I need some interaction from all of you. If you don't agree with me, you could just say, If you do, you could say amen. And if you really want to keep me going, just clap. I think I have your attention. I want to share 4 things with you, 1 story and a poem, and I'm going to take my seat. If you're going to start with the end in mind, the first thing you have to do is think big. You have to think big. Now we're in a world where we need young people and young at heart to think big. You cannot allow yourself and your thoughts and your ideas to be limited to just being an associate level graduate. You cannot allow the letters behind your name to limit your potential and what you're able to accomplish. You have to think big. You are not just a last name. You are not just where you were born. You are not just how much money you have in your bank account. You are more than what you meets the eye. You have to think big. Now, don't allow yourself to be limited by your circumstance or by your situation. Now, some of us here have come from very difficult times. And now you stand here as a representation of what it means to triumph and overcome. But I want to compel you to continue to think big. The vision for your life has to be bigger than your current abilities. If you were to think as big as your faith, you are limitless. If you are to think as big as your dreams, you could be limitless. You have to think big. Do not allow yourself to be limited. The second thing is you have to stay focused. You have to stay focused. Now, it is important now in staying focused that you have not allow yourself to become distracted. Remember, you have to start with the end in mind. You have to stay focused because regardless of what your dreams and your purpose is, you have to stay focused. Now, the Honorable Minister for Education stole a bit of my speech, but I'm going to still say it anyway. He said you have to run your own race. Now, this is important because sometimes when you're trying to do something great in your life, you sometimes get distracted. And you wonder what race are you supposed to be running. I remember as a young boy, I used to go to the racetrack with my uncle. And there used to be horses there that were running. And there was sometimes that there were horses with blinders around their eyes. I didn't quite understand the significance of this because if you're running a race, you want to be able to see what's all around you. When I became a little bit older, they told me that horses with blinders are there so they are not distracted from their race of worrying about what's on the right, on their left. All they're focused on is what in front of them. And then when I used to go to races more often, I used to see that some horses ran off the pace. Some horses stayed back while other horses went forward, and they ran their own race. See, the thing is, some of you right now, no matter where you are, may have friends and have loved ones and colleagues that are maybe a little bit further ahead of you, and may seem that they are running a race that's further and faster and accomplishing more, but you have to run your own race. You see, the thing is about the horse that runs off the pace is that they are at a position where they're just taking their time and waiting for the signal. You see, when the jockey realizes that it's that time to go, what it does is sometimes pushes or whips the horse. Now, some of you sometimes now in this point that you have achieved your associate's degree, it is time to wait for the next signal. Where are you going to go from here? What are you going to accomplish from here? You have to wait for that signal. Now, if you run too fast out of your race, you won't finish strong. If you try to keep up with the pack in a race that's not yours, you might not even finish the race. Don't get so caught up or confused by those who are running faster than you. Run your own race. Also, you have to stay focused on your goals. There's some people in your life that are going to come with you with good intentions, and they're going to love you and celebrate you, but not all are going to do those things. Some of them are going to come with you with a smile and a grin, but they may be there destined for your downfall. Now, I told you I was a preacher. There was this man in the Old Testament called Nehemiah, and he was building a wall, and they talked about it in Nehemiah chapter 6. And he was trying to stay focused on finishing this wall. But what happened? On 4 different occasions, his friends came up to him and said, listen, man, you need to come off this wall. But they were trying to harm him. They were trying to kill him to stop him from accomplishing his or her purpose. You have to be aware of those that come into your life to take away your focus. On 4 times, they came to him. Nah, man, come down. You don't need to do that. Yeah, you got your associates. Don't start that business. Don't go to college. You don't need to do that. Just chill with us. You've done enough. Don't be distracted. Don't be discouraged. The third thing is I want to tell everyone in here is that you better not give up. As I am an intellectual, don't you dare give up. There are examples all over the world of people that have done remarkable things. That people who have triumphed in the midst of great despair, who have overcome great obstacles. Now, if I were to sit and talk to each 190 of you here today, all of you have overcome something significant to be here. All of you have triumphed over significant obstacles. And a testament for you not giving up is your accomplishment here on today. You can never give up. You have to remember that you cannot give up because a whole generation is depending on you. As I look around the crowd, I see a lot of people that have accomplished great things. Our highest award achievers in GPA. I've seen our Phi Theta Kappa recipients. I've seen people with stoles and honors. But it caught my eye as I was sitting there, as I looked at Danielle St. Mart, who seems to have somewhat of a disability, but she is here on today. And I couldn't help but be inspired because I'm sure it wasn't easy for her to go to class every day. I'm sure it was difficult at times, and I'm sure at times there was a need or the drive to feel like I can't do this anymore. But you cannot give up. You can never give up if your dream is bigger. See, some of us are not thinking big. Some of us are not staying focused. And some of us are daring to give up. because we're not starting with the end in mind. Your dream needs to be so big that you can always keep your eye on it no matter the obstacle that you're faced with. It needs to be so grand and so ridiculous that no matter what obstacle is faced in your way, you can always keep your eye on the prize. You have to think big. Now, lest I keep you here too long, I just want to finish with this. I want to remind every one of you here that your degree is not just for you. You are stronger together. I want you to look at the person on your right and look at the person on your left. Say, we are stronger together. That was practice. We are stronger together. Now, for the next couple of years, you will realize that life cannot be done alone. Life cannot be done alone. As you go off to more tertiary education, starting a business, starting your family, life cannot be done alone. You have to start with the end in mind. Everything that you do from this point on has to have the end in mind. If it doesn't fit, it needs to be removed from your life. Some of you right now are stronger together, and you have to realize that there's some things in your life that you need to remove. There's some thoughts and some doubts that you need to expel from your mind. You have to start with the end in mind. Some of us right now are thinking that I've accomplished this associate degree and this is all and this is it. I can't go any further. No one believes in me. I want to remind you that you're stronger together. Now you might wonder, why? Why should we be stronger together? Because your future depends on it. You're stronger together because our country needs leaders. Don't think when you're starting with the end in mind that you're not going to have obstacles. Don't think that on your road to success that it's going to be easy. Nothing significant or powerful is done without sacrifice. Nothing significant is done without sacrifice. But some of us here might feel like you're alone. Some of us may feel like you can't go any further. But I want to remind you that you're stronger together. Now, you've had the opportunity to hear the speakers before you and know that your parents or grandparents and well-wishers are here for you. Remember that you're stronger together. I have one more poem to share, and I'm going to take my seat. The poem is from W. Allen Drumgoole. It's called The Bridge Builder. It's a simple poem that talks about the importance of those that have gone before us to build bridges to allow us to be stronger together. An old man going along highway came to the evening cold and gray, to a chasm vast, wide, and steep, with waters rolling cold and deep. The old man crossed into the twilight dim, but the sullen streams had no fear for him. But he turned when safe to the other side and built a bridge to span the tide. Old man, said a fellow pilgrim near, you're wasting your strength with building here. Your journey will end at the ending day. You never again will pass this way. The old man lifted his old gray head. Good friend in the path he's come, he said. There followeth after me today a youth whose feet must pass this way. The chasm that was as naught to me, to that fair-headed youth may a pitfall be. He too must cross into the twilight dim. Good friend, I'm building this bridge for him. You might not see your degree. class of 2017 as significant, but it is. The bridges that you will build are not only for these British Virgin Islands, but will allow your community to be stronger, will allow your family to be stronger, and allow these British Virgin Islands to continue to be a nation to be reckoned with. Don't allow the bigness of your dream or the strongness of your obstacles to cause you to become dismayed. We are a people of strength. We are a people of faith. I believe in all 190 of you that you have a destiny and a dream that will allow this country to be shaped for the next 20, 30, and 50 years. We are no longer followers, but we are leaders. And I commend you, class of 2017, that I believe in you. And because we believe in each other, we will start with the end in mind. And that end is greatness, excellence, and we will be bridge builders for the next generation. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Turnbull, for those very inspiring words, not only for the graduating class, but their families and to all of us here today as well. It is always such a pleasure to hear you, and we sincerely appreciate your support and your commitment to the college. We have 2 gifts for you, but you have to get back up. The first is a plaque which commemorates you being our guest speaker today.
Dr. Turnbull is very, very special to us. Dr. Turnbull is not only an alumni, he's an ambassador. We're giving him a gift that we've given to no one else, and we're very selective in who we give it to. In fact, it's a Dr. Turnbull gift. It's a logo, the HLSCC logo, and the meaning of that logo.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
It is always with both pleasure and great pride when we have an opportunity to hear the HLSCC Stingray Singers. Many of you know the history of this group of students who were initially involved in an internship for a music performance class taught by Mr. Eric Christian. That internship has propelled them well beyond the heights to which it was intended. Today, the Stingray Singers are clearly the #1 favorite among bands in the BVI. 8 of the 14 Stingrays are among the class of 2017. I'm also proud to say that 5 of them are Phi Theta Kappa provisional or full members, and 3 of them are graduating with honors today. What does that say? Our Stingrays play hard, but they also work hard. We congratulate all 8 of them. Let's listen to a selection by the HLSCC Stingray Singers.
So there's a party going on right here, a celebration that will last you out the year. So bring your good times and your laughter too. We're gonna celebrate, come on, let's party with you. Come on now. Celebration. Come on, we're gonna celebrate, let's have a good time. Come on now. Celebration. Come on, we're gonna celebrate, let's have a good time. It's time to come together. It's up to you. What's your pleasure? Everyone around the world. Come on! Come on! Come on! Come on! Whoa, whoa. Come on! It's a celebration. Whoa, whoa. Come on! Celebrate good times. Come on! Come on! It's a celebration. Celebrate good times. Come on. Come on now. So there's a party going on right here, a celebration that will last you out the year. So bring your good times and your laughter too. We're gonna celebrate. Come on, let's party with you. Come on now. Come on, we're gonna celebrate. Let's have a good time. Come on now. Come on, we're gonna celebrate. Let's have a good time. It's time to come together. It's up to you. What's your pleasure? Everyone around the world. Come on, come on, come on. Come on. It's a celebration. Woo, woo. Come on. Celebrate good times. Come on. Come on now. It's a celebration. Celebrate good times. Come on. Come on now. It's a celebration. Come on.
Thank you very much to the distinguished singers. Give them another round of applause. An appropriate selection for this stage in the proceedings. We now proceed to the part of the program that our graduates have been patiently waiting for. The presentation of candidates, awarding of certificates, and conferring of degrees. Acting Vice President Dr. L. Sauda Smith will now introduce this portion of the proceedings with a few introductory remarks.
According to the Harvard Review and Beloit College, the members of the graduating class of 2017, like their predecessors, the graduating class of 2016, are globally being referred to as Generation Z. Let's look briefly at what this means. Gen Zers are digital natives who have never known life without the internet, smartphones, a television remote, and get their information from a multiplicity of sources that do not include Britannica books. As children of Generation X, they grew up or came of age in the wake of the recession of 2008, says historian, economist, and demographer Neil Howe. They have been equipped and exposed to deal with how the world works. They converse about the realities of making a living and making money. Perhaps the thing that will most define this generation is that they will graduate into a world that is changing more rapidly than ever before, a world where industries are regularly disrupted and hot careers are cold before the year is out. In short, I hope that we have prepared them for the jobs that do not exist. Today, we will award 18 certificates of achievement, 172 associate degrees. 177 of these awards are from students who took classes at Parakeet Bay. 125 females and 52 males. 13 of these from our Virgin Gorda Center, 8 females and 5 males. 46 students will graduate with academic honors, 11 summa cum laude, 10 magna cum laude, 25 cum laude, 24 provisional Phi Theta Kappa members, and 28 full Phi Theta Kappa members. Ladies and gentlemen, parents, faculty, and staff, it is my pleasure to present to you the HLSCC graduating class of 2017, our very own Generation Z. The college currently offers 2 levels of completion awards: the Certificate of Achievement, which is comprised of between 15 and 21 credits, and the Associate Degree, which is comprised of between 60 to 68 credits, depending on the program. Would the registrar and deans kindly present the candidates for graduation in the order in which they are presented in the program of the day?
Good afternoon to all. Would the candidates for the certificates of achievement please rise? President Dr. Smith, I have the honor of presenting to you and this assembly the candidates for the college's Certificates of Achievement Award. The faculty, registrar, and the deans all certify that each person that will be named has completed all the requirements for their program of study and recommend each one for the award as noted in today's program. Would Marshall Pemberton please bring the candidates forward to receive their certificates and our collective congratulations.
Leland Abraham. Rodwin Phillips, Provisional Phi Theta Kappa member. Nicole Stevens. Marvell George. Kelly Roberts.
Good afternoon. Will the candidates for the associate degrees please rise? President Dr. Smith, I have the honor of presenting to you and this assembly the candidates for the college's associate's degrees. The faculty, registrar, and deans all certify that each person that will be named has completed all the requirements for their program of study and recommend each one for the award as noted in today's program. Would Marshall Pemberton please bring the candidates forward to receive their certificates and our collective congratulations.
President Dr. Smith, I present to you Lil Makeda Foy. Carrot Penn. Leisha Muir. Kelberlin George. Natalie Elliott. Kyla Dawson, cum laude, Phi Theta Kappa. Jada Clark, cum laude, Phi Theta Kappa. Alana Blyden, cum laude. Allison Scatliff, provisional Phi Theta Kappa member. Andrea Robin, provisional Phi Theta Kappa member. Joanna Gibson, magna cum laude, Phi Theta Kappa. Rashawn Malone. Gianni Nathaniel. Sue Ann Peters. Kenisha Benjamin, cum laude, Phi Theta Kappa. Candace Bryan. Tamika Calm, cum laude, Phi Theta Kappa. Kalia Chukutu, Phi Theta Kappa. Jacoya Foy, summa cum laude, Phi Theta Kappa. Aliyah Harley. Lori George. Adrian Corrington. Ryan Chalwell. Michelle Boyle, cum laude, Phi Theta Kappa. John Antoine, magna cum laude, Phi Theta Kappa. Fiona Andrews. Khadijah Abrams, cum laude. Rennie Phillips, provisional Phi Theta Kappa member. Thea Cook, provisional Phi Theta Kappa member. Janae Hopkins. Glenisa Lamoth. Novia Letsam, cum laude, Phi Theta Kappa. Janae Herbert. Chantel Howell. Ajani Lockhart. Kewana Martin. Rhea Mitchum. Amanda Purcell, Associate in Science, Business Administration, and Certificate of Achievement. Jalifa Robinson, Provisional Phi Theta Kappa member. Alexa Samuel, Provisional Phi Theta Kappa member. Siobhan Wilson. Janiqua White. Tricia Vanterpool Durant. Shaquana Vanterpool. Kiera Thomas. Jessica Smith, magna cum laude, Phi Theta Kappa. Tiffany Singh. Selena Singh, cum laude, provisional Phi Theta Kappa. Kimra Scatliff, provisional Phi Theta Kappa member. Janira Scatliff. Ramona Maloney. Daniela St. Mark. Siobhan Marquis. Sherry Parsons Stout. Rochelle Potter. Nikia Anthony, cum laude. Tigana Drago. Donisha George. Kiwana Gordon. Akela Hodge. Elizabeth Jeremiah. Renee Livingstone Nibbs, summa cum laude, Phi Theta Kappa. Akila Harrigan. Brenda Foy, cum laude, Phi Theta Kappa. Marvell Brown. Weslyn Walters, summa cum laude. Yemi Vincent Sierra, provisional Phi Theta Kappa member. Stefan Tyson. Danica Tittle. Sade Robinson. Colleen Morton Simmons. Jermaine Liebert, cum laude, Phi Theta Kappa. Hannah Gabrielle Russ, summa cum laude, Phi Theta Kappa. Zora Williams, summa cum laude, Phi Theta Kappa. Chetwin Bagot. Tevin Skeet, cum laude, provisional Phi Theta Kappa member. Tia Williams. Sade Blackman, Phi Theta Kappa. Kishona Cross Smith. Jerron Jones. Keanu George, provisional Phi Theta Kappa member. Cheyenne Criqui. Akeem Joseph. Romaine Baird. Michelle Richardson. Beverly Purcell George. Nathaniel Isaac Jr., cum laude, Phi Theta Kappa. Kasim Clark. Sean Black, provisional Phi Theta Kappa member. Ivana Crook, provisional Phi Theta Kappa member. Kimani Jones, provisional Phi Theta Kappa member. Rial Roberts. Shireen Flax Charles, magna cum laude. Alex Gums, magna cum laude. Sahadio Singh. Codell Williams. Mahmoud Ahmad, cum laude, provisional Phi Theta Kappa. Sudarshini Ganga. Andre Kartik, magna cum laude, Phi Theta Kappa. Roxanne Caesar. Nakira Penn. Shanice Morgan, summa cum laude, Phi Theta Kappa. Jerry Henry. Tamal Donovan, magna cum laude, Phi Theta Kappa. Carrie Ann Collins. Nikisha Shinnery. Britannia Bruley, summa cum laude, Phi Theta Kappa. Zoe Joseph. Onika Jennings, provisional Phi Theta Kappa member. Nicoya Sheltonham, cum laude, Phi Theta Kappa. Lenique Monet Duncan, cum laude. Bashira Maduro, provisional Phi Theta Kappa member. David Penn II. Jamelia Prentice, magna cum laude, Phi Theta Kappa. Attica Pompey, provisional Phi Theta Kappa member. Julissa Rodriguez Turnbull. Adacia Adonis, cum laude. Zara Corian Durant, Summa cum laude, Phi Theta Kappa, student respondent, class of 2017. Gwenisha Wilkinson. Tiasha Foy. Tremis Donovan. Lesrano Davis. Kishona Dasent. Jennifer Christopher. Rosanna Chichester. Christina Foy. Kitwan Maduro. Adriel Singh, magna cum laude, Phi Theta Kappa. Zilanda Maduro, cum laude. Hakeem Penn. Zeandre Penn. Kadian Potter. Kenaz Stout. Dia Noel. Shante Walters, cum laude, Phi Theta Kappa. Laura Beezer. Julissa Sedano, summa cum laude, Phi Theta Kappa. Narila Chalwell. Renis de Leon Vanterpool. Safil Arthurton. Kelston King. Deron Noel. Glendon Gregg. Renata St. Helene, magna cum laude, Phi Theta Kappa. Risberg de Leon Vanterpool, provisional Phi Theta Kappa member. Alana Richardson. Laquan Reed. Brandon Walters. Cabrian Barzi, cum laude, Phi Theta Kappa. Denicia Carty. Tianja Donovan. Lance Jeffers.
Now, would the candidates for the associate degree in applied science please rise? President Dr. Smith, I have the honor of presenting to you and this assembly the candidates for the college's associate degree in applied science. The faculty, registrar, and the deans All certify that each person that will be named has completed all the requirements for their program of study and recommend each one for the award as noted in today's program. Would Marshal Pemberton please bring the candidates forward to receive their certificates and our collective congratulations.
Shimorn Baker. Jalisa Smith, cum laude. Danisha Davis, cum laude. Tanisha Dorset. Kevin Jones. Krista Grant, cum laude, Phi Theta Kappa. Christopher Luckham. Lakeisha King, provisional Phi Theta Kappa.
I just want you to know, the last couple of days we've heard a lot about Chef Molyneux. There were 3 people in our graduating class that were also on that team. There was Lakeisha King, Lakeisha Barry. Actually, Lakeisha Barry is a graduate that's now at Johnson & Wales. And the 3rd person is Arik Flax Charles. He is one of our graduates as well. Okay, now the big moment. This is the point at which you really become graduates. Reviewing the recommendations of the college's faculty and your deans, and by virtue of the authority granted me by the Board of Governors of the H. Levity Stout Community College, I hereby award you the appropriate degree for which you have qualified, whether it be a certificate of achievement, an Associate of Arts degree, an Associate in Science degree, or an Associate of Applied Science degree. We all extend to you our sincere congratulations on this significant achievement. This next step in the process brings us to the last act that you will perform in your quest to earn a certificate or degree from the college. For many of you, this is also the last time that you are likely to receive instructions from this institution. this symbolic act transition you from being a candidate for a certificate or degree to being a graduate and an alumni of the HLSCC Stout. Graduates, it gives me great pleasure to instruct you to move your tassels from the right to the left side of your cap. Okay. Faculty, you may sit. One short thing that you will spend a few minutes listening to one person, but this was your choice. It gives me great pleasure to introduce the graduate respondent. In fact, I will ask one of her instructors, Ms. Lucille Skelton, to do that honors.
Good afternoon. It gives me great pleasure to introduce this year's graduate respondent. In August 2015, in her initial semester here at the HLSCC Community College, Ms. Zara Corian Durant enrolled in my college algebra course. On that first day of the class's roll call, little did I know at the time that she would become a regular fixture on one of my student rosters in each subsequent semester, including the summer session in between, up to the completion of our requirements here at HLSCC. In our student lecturer journey, we transitioned from algebra to trigonometry and statistics to the calculus courses of the 2016 to 2017 academic year. However, this does not fully explain the level of responsibility that Ms. Corian Durant assumed in order to achieve her accomplishment today. So to give an idea of that, I impart to you the following. Ms. Corian Durant, in her tenure here at HLSCC, spent 2 of her 4 semesters carrying overloads and worked for 20 hours per week in the final semester while carrying a full load. Maintained active membership in HLSCC's jazz and woodwinds ensembles, served as SJ Vice President for the 2016 to 2017 school year, served as peer mentor for that academic school year as well, was inducted into the Phi Theta Kappa International Honor Society during the spring 2016 semester, and attended the Phi Theta Kappa International Convention in April of this year, where she participated in educational forums and was the voting delegate for HLSCC's Beta Omicron Sigma chapter. As you can well imagine, the challenge of engaging in all of this was not a walkover. There were times in this final semester that she would arrive to class so exhausted that all she could do would be to put her head on the desk. And I would say, "Zara, wake up, you can't sleep in my class." And she would reply with whatever energy she could muster, "I'm listening." And she did indeed was listening and learning. To make the commitment to attend class, tired, and a calculus class at that, and learn like that speaks to the level of determination that indicates to me that this student and so many others like her in this graduating class who worked so hard and made similar sacrifices in doing their best will go places and do great things. Let us welcome Ms. Zara Corian Durant as she takes a moment to respond on behalf of her class of 2017.
Thank you, Ms. Skelton. I acknowledge the protocol that has already been established. Distinguished guests, family and friends, and to my fellow graduates, good afternoon. It is indeed an honor to deliver this speech to all of you today. However, I represent just one of the many voices of this graduating class of 2017. I thank those who nominated me and those who voted for me to put me under a little more pressure than I already was to write this speech. But nonetheless, thank you. I also want to recognize those who helped each and every one of us in some way to reach this milestone in our lives. Parents, family members, instructors, we thank you and we salute you for all that you have done to help get us to this day. But I must acknowledge all the talented, intelligent, ambitious, and determined students sitting under this tent in their green caps and gowns, as well as those who graduated but chose not to walk. We did it. Congratulations to all of us. Some of us began this journey long before others, and some of us may have come here from abroad. But no matter where you came from, and despite how long it took, we all made it here today because of the never-ending sacrifices, determination, and hard work. Today isn't the end. We're only now getting started. Here is where we turn the page to a new chapter in this journey called life. Many of us may continue our studies abroad, and for some of us, this may be the end of formal education, at least for a little while. But as we finish this chapter, we have to ask ourselves the question, what next? What do I do tomorrow? What do I do next week? How will I do it? We each should take today as a platform, a jumpstart, and a building block for our future. Whether it is to be a teacher, a technician, a doctor, or an entrepreneur, no matter what we choose to pursue after today, we're one step closer to our future. As Tom Brokaw said, you are educated. Your certification is in your degree. You may think of it as a ticket to the good life, but let me ask of you to think of an alternative. Think of it as a ticket to change the world. Graduates, the future is now, and we are the future. We are the gateway for changing the world. Let us use our degrees to make the difference. The road ahead won't be easy. You'll encounter difficult situations, setbacks, disappointments, and obstacles you just cannot avoid. You might just fail a few times. But despite it all, when life gets you down, just keep swimming. According to Oprah Winfrey, there is no such thing as failure. Failure is just life trying to move us in another direction. And she makes sense. You can only truly fail if you stop trying, because you would have filled yourself of friendships, opportunities, and life lessons. Learn from your mistakes, because every decision you make after that gives way to new experiences you probably wouldn't have encountered if you hadn't gone the other way. It is okay to make mistakes every now and again. It's a normal part of life. After all, we're not perfect. And I'm saying this to say, don't quit when things go wrong, when you get pressured, or when things get a little tough. Don't disadvantage yourself by giving up. Those same mistakes may be the very things that will make a difference in the world. As Richard Branson said, do not be embarrassed by your failures. Learn from them and start again. I know I probably sound like everyone's parents when you show them something on your phone that's supposed to be funny and they turn it into a lecture. But of course, we all know the effect it has when certain messages are delivered by certain age groups. And likewise, graduates, in order to change the world, we must accept change. I don't mean what we get at the store, but here's the 2 cents that I dropped on the floor. Whether or not we see it, there is a change. Graduates, both young and those young at heart, we must be open to constructive criticism and willing to accept the things that may seem out of our comfort zones. We can't expect to change the world or make an impact if we ourselves don't want to accept change. Change is inevitable. It is important to realize that you cannot progress if you are stuck in your old ways. You need to be ready to change the world before the world changes you. Small steps such as a change in environment, a change in the workplace, a change in friends, and even a change in the way in which you approach things can make the difference. It all starts with a change in you. To the graduates who will be going off to school, accepting change is vital. Coming from this small BVI community, We are not often exposed to all that is out there. Accepting change will allow you to be more open-minded to situations, and open-mindedness paired with the skills you have attained at HLSCC will enable you to solve problems and make the difference that this world needs. On this point, I am preaching to myself. You see, I've had one math teacher for 5 semesters, but I guess this is it. I'll have to let go of their Miss Skelton and accept the change in a teaching learning style. I'll never get tired of hearing, right class? Class, class, just say yes. Sometimes it's not that you cannot change or don't want to accept change, but it's just that you may fear the unknown. But face your fears and embrace change. I know this speech is getting lengthy, so I'll leave you with this. You are all smart, determined, powerful, and outspoken. Do not let the trials of life and the tribulations of the world neither deter you from your goals nor let them bring you down. You don't have to be smarter than the person next to you to make a change. Just be willing to work harder. When you stumble, look at both sides first and find the next best solution. Be responsible for yourself, and when a change occurs, take the responsibility for your actions that will follow. Always blaming others for personal mistakes will lead nowhere. Making a habit of accepting responsibility leads to a strong work ethic and a drive to succeed. Class of 2017, use your degrees to their full potential. Take responsibility and make changes, and learn from your mistakes in order to change this world. Graduates, the change begins with us. Again, congratulations to all of you, and thank you.
Thank you, Zara, for those touching and wise words. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise as one of the members of the HLSCC family, Mr. Colin Cousins of the Sanctuary of Hope Church in Virgin Gorda, gives the benediction.
I believe it's an opportunity just to lift your hands and just give God a praise in this house. May the peace of God that transcends all understanding guard your hearts and your minds, calm your fears, relieve your doubts, and sustain you with hope. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace in this new journey. In Jesus' name, amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, well, firstly, thank you, Mr. Cousins. Ladies and gentlemen, the graduation ceremony is now concluded. Please remain standing for the recessional.
save me. Oh, I need a guiding hand, a hand. Oh, I'm lonely, and you know it. Yes, I'm lonely, don't I show it? She's gone again. She's gone again. Lord, she's gone again. And I need her. You know I need her in my empty arms, my arms. Oh, I hope I'm not intruding. If I am, oh Lord, excuse me, but you understand. She's gone again. That she's gone again. She left our home so filled with sadness. Oh, I tried to give her gladness. You understand? She's gone again. The girl's gone again. She's gone again. She's gone.